Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Compassion and Courage, Conversations in Healthcare. I am your host, Marcus Engel, and with me, as always, is the Hotness. Hi.
Hello and good evening.
And good evening. And this is the podcast where we teach compassionate communication, provide perspective, and inspire resilience. So we are what? I don't know. We're heading into the winter as we record this episode, and I'm wondering, is that why I'm rubbing up against you here in the studio and you're wearing a heavy coat?
I am wearing my favorite coat. It's super thick. It has a hood that comes up. It's bright orange because, I feel like a hunter.
I would like to state for the listening audience that this is not a super thick coat. This is not Gore-Tex. This is not Gore-Tex like George Costanza talked about. This is not something that would come out of an LL Bean catalog. This is pretty, but this is not a parka.
It's not a parka, but it's pretty thick and it's pretty heavy. And here's why I'm wearing it.
Yeah.
We've been traveling a lot lately, which has been wonderful, and we love it so much. In Florida, it is still hot.
Yeah.
I know in some places it's already winter, and by now, when you see this, it may be closer to winter. But it's still in the high 80s, 90s.
You could go swimming easily.
It's easy
Here
hot,
in Central
right?
Florida, yeah.
We were flying out the other day, last week, and where we were going, it was going to be in the 30s. Well, we had to get on the airplane, and we go to get on. Everybody's in flip-flops and sandals. You were dressed a little more casual, but me, I'm in my big old coat. And people every now and then are kind of looking at me because, you stop and change planes, so we're not always all going to the same place. So we're just all headed to Atlanta. And, and I'm sitting there and I'm walking through the airport and I'm wearing my coat and I'm pulling my bag, but my coat wouldn't fit in the bag if we were going to carry it on. So I had to wear it if I wanted to have it when I got there. So, there's again, little kids in cute little shorts and men in shorts. And I'm dressed like a weirdo. At the
yes,
airport.
in the Orlando airport, yes, you certainly are not dressed for the 85, 90 degree temperature.
Correct. And I had a couple people that I caught kind of just side-eyeing me, which I really didn't mind. But I also had a couple people come up and say, "Hey, where are you going?" Because they understood wherever I was going was different than where we were. And it's kind of hot, so I'm already going to button this.
So you're going to take it off here.
But this is what I kept thinking about all day long as I walked around in this big old huge hot coat. Sometimes we have to know where we're going and be prepared for where we're going instead of just the way we are. And if you want to go somewhere different, sometimes you have to start thinking about, hey, I've got something different in my life that I want to achieve. I'm headed somewhere different. And that may mean people kind of side-eye you, like, what you think you're doing? Or more people may come up and say, hey, what's going on? Where are you headed? But we're choosing to prepare and think for where we want to be, not just where we are.
I see the what's the metaphor? Is
The
that
metaphor,
right? Is that the metaphor?
correlation.
I'm not a very good English person.
Just a writer.
Yeah, just a writer and stuff. But I think that is a good metaphor for we've got to know where we're going. We got to stay focused on where we're going. If you don't know where you're going, then any path will get you there. I'm pretty sure somebody famous said that once. But using the example of clothing is a perfect summation of this. For me, I actually don't always dress for where I'm going because it's so stinking hot in Orlando. So often in Orlando, I'm not dressing in a heavy coat, and I didn't even take the heavy coat along on this trip because I don't want to wear it. And that is probably some bad planning on my part, or maybe that's another metaphor. Dun, 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 right?
Maybe it is. But I do think most of us see something that we want, something we want to do,
Goal.
an attitude we want to cultivate. We see something, maybe it is like a career goal, something that practical. But even if it's just internal, we want to be better at something. So I don't know, is it fake it till you make it? I don't know if it's quite that. But I do know sometimes you have to put your mind and your thoughts and your energy on where am I headed and what's life going to be like when I get there. And I'm getting ready now to make whatever it is changes I need so that I can achieve those dreams and I can go where it is I'm headed and be ready when I get there.
You know, that reminds me of a thought leader I remember reading. This could be 20 years ago. And she was consulting with a woman, and this woman had a great career. She had a home, she had a car, she had a life, all these things. But she was not married, and she wanted a husband. She wanted to be married. And so the thought leader that I was listening to said, well, I told her to start setting up her life as if she had the husband. And so she said, I told her to start parking not in the middle of the garage, but on one side of the garage as if there's room for another car to come in. She said, I told her to empty out one of her closets and a few of her chest of drawers to say, this is where I'm making space for what I want in the future. And it's kind of interesting that whether it was that planning or putting herself in that heart space, the woman in question did end up being engaged like 6 months after the thought leader suggested these things to her. And even that is a way that we can start fashioning the world that we want, right? Fashioning the world that we want. We're creating space for it. We are inviting it in, and you're preparing by dressing appropriately for where you're going.
For me, it was a big coat.
Yeah. What's it going to be for you? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to accomplish? And what are the ways that you can start now acting like it's already here? I hear this from a lot of people in the manifestation space that say, you've got to start being grateful for it even if you don't have it yet. Be grateful for it even if you haven't achieved it, even if you haven't accomplished that goal yet, even if you haven't gotten that promotion or gotten that raise or gotten that financial security or gotten that new car, perfect partner, whatever the case is. Be grateful for it before you have it. And that's a hard thing to do whenever you want something really bad, right? It's hard to be grateful and feel grateful when you don't have it in order to try to get it. But I think if we are opening up our heart space to those possibilities and acting like we already have it, guess what? Maybe we will manifest it. Maybe we just will. We know darn good and well that if we don't act in a certain way, we're not going to get it.
Well,
right?
If you don't prepare, you either never get there or you don't even realize when you get there.
Yeah.
Or you freeze your butt off when you get there because that's kind of what you did.
Yeah, I did freeze my butt off when we got there. Yeah, luckily I have some blubber to keep me warm.
But I believe in you. And I believe if you want more compassion in your life, you have that opportunity. Just start acting like you have it. More courage, same thing.
More love.
More love.
More friends.
I believe in you.
Right. Absolutely. More money. More money.
Okay,
right.
I'll take it.
All right, we'll take it. All right, we want to thank you all so much for being with us for this episode of Compassion and Courage, Conversations in Healthcare. I'm your host, Marcus Engel, and with me, as always, in the studio is the Hotness.
Literally
The Hotness, Marlene, a.k.a. And this is the podcast where we teach compassionate communication, provide perspective, and inspire resilience. Thank you all for being with us, and thank you for continuing to help boost recognition of the podcast across sharing and subscribing and all those social media things. Appreciate you all. Thanks again for being with us.